Hello everyone, it's Fu here, and today I wanted to answer a question that absolutely no one has been asking, but I thought was kind of interesting anyway, and that is, what is the most powerful max move possible? I'll be considering which Pokemon can cause the most damage with their max move. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider leaving a like as it really helps out my channel and helps me determine what videos you want to see more of, but if not, that's fine. So firstly, some housekeeping. There are 4 rules. 1, I'm only considering the damage dealt by a max move, so not the secondary effects. 2, Pokemon must have the Sword and Shield icon. It's kind of an arbitrary rule, but it makes for some interesting results. 3, any kind of setup is allowed to generate the most powerful max move possible. And 4, the target for this experiment is type null, holding the ring target. That's because it has an equal defense and special defense stat, and all attacks hit it neutrally. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So first, for some general considerations, thinking about stat boosts, any Pokemon can get to +6 attack or special attack because of things like baton paths. In terms of the item to use, Metronome looks like the best item here to boost your damage. Choice Band and Choice Specs don't work when you Dynamax, and Metronome can give a 1.4 times damage boost on the last turn of Dynamax when you've used the same max move 3 times in a row. Other considerations are Helping Hand is very important, and also having a partner with a damage boosting ability in doubles, for example Stonjourner's Power Spot. And the final general consideration is that the best ability for most Pokemon is going to be Huge Power. That doubles their attack stat, which is a huge boost, but obviously that's only really relevant to physical attackers, so special attackers are not going to be as good in this experiment. Where we start to see clear winners emerge is where we consider some type-specific damage boosts. And those are terrains, so grassy terrain, psychic terrain, and electric terrain boost the power of the applicable moves, and so those 3 types are definitely going to be very powerful. And then you've also got weather boosts, so rain boosts water attacks and sun boosts fire attacks, and these 5 types make up the 5 most powerful max moves. So now I will count down the 5 most powerful max moves of these types, and we will find out what the most powerful max move in Pokemon Sword and Shield is. So in at number 5 is Psychic type and Max Mindstorm. Now we need to think about which Psychic types that will get same type attack bonus are really good here, and you may be thinking of some really strong Psychic type Pokemon. I was hoping Bahia might make it here. It's got a very high special attack stat, but unfortunately it's not there. Mewtwo obviously is insanely powerful and can be caught in max raid dens, but that's not the one we're looking for either. Physical attackers are better because we can skill swap Huge Power, so maybe something like Gallade could be really strong here. But it turns out that it's actually the infamous Psychic type, Darmanitan, because of a really cool move that I have not seen any use for until now, which is Magic Powder, Hatterene's signature move. This turns the target into a Psychic type, and they will then be able to get same type attack bonus on their Psychic type attacks. Darmanitan can learn Zen Headbutt, and after Magic Powder it will get same type attack bonus, which is so important to get the maximum damage possible. You can skill swap Huge Power onto it, give it the Metronome, and use Max Mindstorm 3 times. You'll set up the Psychic terrain to get that boost too. You need to make sure that you've got +6 attack. It gets Belly Drum, so that's relatively easy. Do that before you Dynamax. You've got to have the Sun Up with Cherrim next to you because you'll get Cherrim's Flower Gift ability boost, which boosts your attack again by another 1.5 times, which is crazy. This is just boosting and boosting and boosting. You can use Helping Hand as well. After all of that, it deals insane damage, and you will be able to take out the equivalent of 5 type null with max IVs, no EVs. But that's a lot of type null, and it's a very, very strong max move. So Darmanitan, Max Mindstorm, that's our 5th most powerful max move. In at number 4 is actually the grass type Max Overgrowth. And again, you can think of lots of different grass types that this could be, but it turns out that Sirfetch'd is the most powerful grass type around because of Forest Curse, giving it the grass typing. That allows it to get same type attack bonus on grass type moves. It does actually learn Solar Blade, which is a very powerful grass type move. Now, Sirfetch'd is actually slightly less powerful than Darmanitan in terms of their attack stats, but because Solar Blade is a much higher base power move than Zen Headbutt that Darmanitan was basing its Max Mindstorm off, Sirfetch'd Max Overgrowth is more powerful than Max Mindstorm from Darmanitan. Again, it will hold the metronome, it can set up the grassy terrain, it can Swords Dance boost before all of this to make sure that it has +6 attack. Sun can be up for Cherrim's Flower Gift next door, and you can Helping Hand again. All of this amounts to enough power to take out 5.3 type Null. So that is more powerful than Darmanitan, and it's really cool to see something like Sirfetch'd on this list, I think, so that is wicked. In at number 3, the third most powerful max move is Max Geyser, the water type max move, and the water type using this move is actually going to be Cursula, which is crazy. So we can soak Cursula to make it a water type, and it learns Hydro Pump. And this is a really interesting one because it is the only special attack on this list. And why it's able to use a special attack, because obviously we don't have huge power for this Pokemon, we can't skill swap that on. What we can use instead is Water Bubble that has the same damage boost as huge power, but it's applicable to both the attack and the special attack. So we can use Hydro Pump Cursula here once it's been soaked. Again, it's holding the metronome. Another really important point to note though is that it can't get the Flower Gift Cherrim boost because that only boosts attacks. So we need Power Spot instead, which is slightly less powerful. Cherrim's boost is a 1.5 times boost. Power Spot is a 1.3 times boost. But why this is more powerful than the other two that I've already mentioned is Rain gives a 1.5 times power boost compared to Terrain, which only gives a 1.3 times power boost. All this is kind of crazy. Cursula is more powerful than Sirfetch'd and Darmanitan with Max Geyser. It's got a higher special attack stat than their relative attacking stats, and Hydro Pump turns into a very powerful Max Geyser. So it's a really strong Pokemon, and I love seeing Cursula on this list. Again, I made a video way back when Sword and Shield first came out saying, don't evolve your Galarian Corsola. Well, maybe this is a reason to get an extremely powerful Max Geyser. It's a bit wonky, but it's pretty cool. In at the second most powerful max move, and what I thought was actually the most powerful until I realized that I had completely overlooked something, is an insanely strong fire type Max Flare. And it's actually from a Pokemon that is a fire type. That is going to be Darmanitan. So obviously there aren't any moves that can turn a Pokemon into a fire type, so it has to be a native fire type. Fortunately, we've got an extremely strong one in normal Darmanitan. It's a fire type, it learns Flare Blitz to base a really strong Max Flare off. Why this is more powerful than the water type is you get pretty much the same boosts across the board, apart from you can use huge power, not water bubble, and you don't have to have the power spot. You can have Cherrim's Flower Gift as well as the Sun boost, and then you've got the Max Flare, you've got the metronome, you've got the huge power, you've got the Sun boosting your damage even more. Obviously Darmanitan is going to hit super hard, and this is actually quite a step up from the previous 3. So each of them, they were kind of in the same ballpark, but this Max Flare from Darmanitan is actually able to KO the equivalent of 6.3 type Null, which is really strong. And I thought that this was the most powerful max move until we move on to the next one, which is really interesting. So the most powerful max move in the game is going to be Max Lightning. So this is a move that can obviously be boosted by electric terrain, which is only a 1.3 times boost compared to the weather boost from Rain and Sun for water and fire respectively. So how does this become the most powerful move? Well, as I said, it's something that I completely overlooked initially, but it is going to be the move Charge. Charge increases the user's special defense by 1 stage, but most importantly, it increases the damage of the electric type move used the following turn. I thought that this was a 50% boost, but it's actually a 100% boost. You double the damage of your next electric type move, which is crazy. That is a massive damage boost. It does mean that the setup for this one is slightly different again though, because the metronome can't be used. You have to use Charge and then your max move the next turn. You can't use 3 max moves in a row to get the metronome boost. That means that you have to look at different items. I was looking initially at Life Orb Pincurchin because Pincurchin has a high attack stat. Life Orb boosts its damage more, but it turns out that's not the most powerful. The most powerful, believe it or not, is Pikachu. Pikachu is the most powerful max move in the game. The way this works is that Pikachu gets the Light Ball item. This doubles its attack stat, which is a huge boost. You can then give Pikachu the huge power as well, and have charge. Each of those boosts are doubling its damage output, which is mental. You can then obviously have the electric terrain up. You can also have Cherrim next door in the sun, giving you that 1.5 times Flower Gift boost, Helping Hand, and +6 attack. All of that makes Pikachu the strongest thing. An interesting point to note is at the time of filming the footage for this video, it was impossible to get Gigantamax Pikachu with Volt Tackle because it was a gift Pokemon. If you had Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu data on your Switch, you could get the Gigantamax Pikachu, but it didn't know Volt Tackle. You couldn't get it to learn it in any way. That's why I'm using Dynamax Pikachu in the footage and not Gigantamax Pikachu. However, a day or two later, we've now got a Pikachu event which allows you to catch Gigantamax Pikachu with Volt Tackle in game. So this is really important because Volt Tackle is the strongest electric type physical move that Pikachu can learn, and it's important for the most powerful max move in the game. And previously only Dynamax Pikachu had access to that, but now Gigantamax Pikachu does too. So if you're watching this while the event is still going and you can get those Gigantamax Pikachu, then you may want to get a Volt Tackle Gigantamax Pikachu while you can. Max Lightning Pikachu is the most damaging max move in the entire game. I don't think anyone would have seen that coming. It absolutely blows the rest out of the park, being able to KO an equivalent of 8.6 type null, which is stupid. So this thing is super strong. Obviously, it's really not applicable to any real battles because no one would let you get this kind of setup going. It takes way too long and Pikachu is way too frail. There's no way that you could do that. But bear in mind that Pikachu is still a very strong Pokemon and it's a big threat. It's just it's very frail to use in practice. So that's all for today. I hope you found this video kind of interesting. I definitely found it interesting with some big surprises, especially considering those type changing ones at the beginning of the list, Psychic, Grass and Water, all having Pokemon that aren't actually Psychic, Grass and Water types, but you have to use moves to give them that typing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking that notification bell if you want to see more. All that's left to be said is I've been Fu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.